Want to introduce to you our first guest, Jade Floyd. I've had a chance to work with Jade over the course of the last year, and what's exciting about Jade is that she is one of those individuals that it's hard not to smile when she kind of comes on stage. But Jade is with the Case Foundation. Jade, thanks for coming.
Absolutely, we're excited to be here.
So, 5th year of MCON, can you believe it?
I know.
So let's talk about the Case Foundation and the interest in this area.
Absolutely. Well, the Case Foundation, as you know, were started by two tech pioneers, Gene and Steve Case. Their names might ring a bell because they were the founders of AOL.
Yep.
So the little tiny startup that brought America online. So Gene and Steve started the Case Foundation 2 decades ago. And at the Case Foundation, we work to unleash entrepreneurship, revolutionize philanthropy, and ignite civic engagement. And one of those ways that we ignite civic engagement is through this exploration of the millennial generation.
Yeah.
And we're filled with millennials at the Case Foundation. We have one half of our staff. Gene and Steve have raised 5 of their own. And Gene says it best. She's really the biggest champion of the millennial generation. She says that they're the next greatest generation.
Yep.
And they're involving themselves with causes. They're using their time, their treasure, and their talent to really solve some of the world's most complex problems.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, everybody, make sure that you give a shout out to the Case Foundation because this has been a great partnership, and that's what we have truly looked at it, because not only are they interested in understanding why from the research, but also this kind of convening.
Absolutely.
Now, I remember when we talked about MCON, it was an all-complete virtual. Now we're sitting in Chicago at the Museum of Contemporary Art. There will be an audience here in a little bit. Boy, it's shifted. I mean, what have you kind of seen this and learned on your side?
Absolutely. Well, we started off as a solely online program, and we moved to Indianapolis and Chicago, and now we have 20,000 viewers plus who have explored and participated in MCON virtually.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited to have all of these folks joining us from across the globe, using the hashtag online MCON to really engage and communicate with us as we explore this generation and how they're connecting and involving themselves in causes.
So I gave a little bit of a preview. The research is coming out this morning.
Yep.
All right, so tell me why is the workplace so important from the angle of the Case Foundation?
Absolutely. Well, when you look at millennials, and there's no longer a line drawn between their life outside of work and inside the workplace. And we're seeing today that companies are really engaging them to participate in cause campaigns. So the research, you talked a little bit about it, 84% of millennials are donating to causes. That's a huge number. When you look at how they are using their time and their talent and their treasure, like we talked about earlier, this is a generation that wants to do good. They want to work for companies that have, a social mission. Companies like Warby Parker, Happy Family, Sweetgreen. So these are really a generation that they say, we have to work for companies that are doing good. We want to do good in our personal lives. And it's time for that generation to really come forward and kind of take the reins in the workplace.
And I think the Case Foundation has really been at the forefront of this because of the pro bono skills movement,
Absolutely.
Billion Plus Change that you've been a part of, and others. I mean, it seems now that we're blurring the lines more and more. And some might say, is that bad or good? I mean, what's your view?
I think it's great. You saw with the research that 77% of millennials say that they want to use their skills when they volunteer. So whether you be a public relations professional, an accountant, on the tech side, you can use your pro bono skills to benefit causes. You can join boards. And so this is a generation where we can really utilize their talent in the workplace. There's a company, Discovery Communications, who has a Create the Change Day. They bring together all of their employees, thousands across the globe, who for one day go out, volunteer within their communities, but they also use for 12 hours all of their pro bono skills to benefit nonprofits. So they're creating PSAs, they're creating websites, marketing materials, and these are all things that nonprofits sometimes can't afford, but this is an organization that is using the skills of their employees to help those organizations.
Yeah. So when you looked at the research this year, and we gave you the preview to the Case Foundation before everybody else, it happened.
Sneak peek.
Yeah. So as you're looking at it, what was one of the biggest surprises to you?
One of the biggest surprises for us that we recognized was that no longer is the CEO the most influential person necessarily within the organization. Millennials, when they're asked by their peers, they are more likely to engage, to volunteer, to donate their money. And, gone are the days of, our mom and our dad's CSR where we have, the CEO telling management, this is what we're gonna do, and then management then takes it out to the masses and says, all right, guys, you gotta jump on board. Now it's the millennials who are, trickling up, and they're really using, their skills and saying, look, this is what we want to see. So organizations have the opportunity to say, okay, what do you guys want to volunteer? What do you want to donate your time with? What do you think would be a good cause campaign that we can do as an organization as a whole? So you have to listen to that young generation.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a couple other things the Case Foundation's doing. Impact investing has been a big piece. Talk about it. What's going on?
Impact investing, the concept that you can invest in a company that has both a purpose and a profit.
Yep.
There's hundreds of thousands of companies out there who have some sort of social mission and who are really focusing on not only the bottom line, but also how they can solve some of the world's most complex problems. So at the Case Foundation, Jean and Steve really have, led the charge there, both through their personal investments, and then at the foundation, we've really spent the past 2 years exploring and deep diving into impact investing. We just released the short guide to impact investing, which you guys can check out online. Yeah. It's at shortguide.org. And that's a tool for individuals, foundations, companies, where they can really learn more about impact investing, the possibility of having positive or social and financial returns, and really, digging deep into the companies that are really doing some, outstanding things both for their shareholders and for society.
Yeah. So we've got about a couple seconds left here. Anything that we should be checking out, casefoundation.org, because I love it. It's got a lot of information, great blogs.
Absolutely. And great, check in. We have all of the research there for MCON, for the Millennial Impact Study, and, really use us as a resource as you're exploring the impact investing field, the millennial generation. We're there, and you can engage with us through social media, at Case Foundation, on Twitter. We're happy to answer any of your questions, and we're just really thrilled to have MCON back here in Chicago, and we're so excited. You guys have done a wonderful job, and we're happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Case Foundation. Thank you, Jean and Steve Case, as well. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Right, thanks.